Hey everyone, Eric on Paper here, and I'm Eric, and let's get some housekeeping out of the way first. I am sorry for the lack of updates, but I've been commissioned to work on a lot of projects, and they don't actually want me showing the in-progress work, so the show's taken a little bit of a backseat while I'm getting paid for my art, which I am very excited about, but I will do these videos as often as possible. This week's video actually is a commission from a very talented photographer I know, Heather Strauss, and I will put a link below to her website. And she does incredible work. Hire her for any occasion, and she will make it look beautiful. Also, on the 21st, I am currently scheduled to be interviewed on, I believe you're called, yes, DORKGA's website, DORKGA. I'll put a link below as well. A lot of links this time. But it should be streaming, I believe, around 1 o'clock unless something changes. And we'll be discussing making comics, the creative process, and if you have any Spider-Man 4 questions or any questions about my work, it's a live stream, and I think, she takes questions from guests. So, moving on from there, Spider-Man 4, a lot of people have been asking about it, and I'm happy to say that we are making plans. I cannot confirm anything because I don't want to end up saying something that will age poorly, but Bryn and I have been discussing regularly the possibilities of shooting and how we're going to be safe while shooting. But in the meantime, let me know what Spider-Man 4 content you want to see, of course, beyond the movie itself, which I really want to see. I'm excited to do it. I could do more character art. I could show you some more storyboards. I can show you overheads and how we break down scenes. I could show you actually how I plot out a fight choreography and storyboard that. Again, no spoilers, but let me know what you'd like to see. And without further ado, I am proud to show off this piece, commissioned by Heather Strauss. Link. Well, excuse me, princess. Sorry, didn't you just want to slap Link every time you said that? Okay, anyway, so working on Link, or especially a character that obviously isn't yours, but the thing I found interesting is putting your own personality into the character, or your own spin that makes even a licensed character your own and identifiable. So I chose this kind of defiant pose with Link. I think it'd be pretty cool, and she requested the Twilight Princess version of the characters, and even though Ocarina of Time is my favorite incarnation, you have to do what the client wants. So I'm using the special Copic paper, which will really bring out the lushness of the colors and the saturation of it all, and what I really like about it is that it matches that gaming aesthetic. Like, even the moodier Legend of Zelda games are still incredibly vivid and vibrant. Now, one of the things I struggled with in this piece, and almost to the very end, was trying to figure out what to do with the background. Because as much as I love Copics, they are not good at rendering out backgrounds or a ton of coverage like a sky or something like that. And couple that with the fact that Link has made up of a lot of secondary colors of, grains, and his shield is pretty much all primary colors, well, the majority primary colors, and I wanted to have Zelda in the background, and she's with a lot of purple hues too. Now, traditionally, I love drawing a purple sky on things and then calling it good. But what I ended up doing was this kind of rose color, this rose orangey color, that helped everything pop out quite a bit. And as per usual with the Copics, I learned from a really great artist in the Pacific Northwest, Jason Metcalf, is to start with your lighter colors first and then work into your darker colors. For one thing, this helps with blending and you don't get a lot of spotting. And for another thing too, is that it's easier to work from light to dark than dark to light. And an easy way you can get a subtle shadow with Copics, and I do this with the skin a lot on the characters, and you'll be able to see that soon, is to go from a lighter shade like say you start with the flesh tone, the palest, which is for Caucasian skin tones, which is E000. Now, that's going to leave a very, very faint line, faint coloring. So then what you do is you wait for that to dry, and on the special Copic paper, the ink comes out very dark, almost grayish. If you're like me, you panic for a second, but then you watch it dry and, oh, okay, it matches the color. What I then do is go over it with the exact same color, and it gives you a darker saturation. Is it very realistic looking? Well, depending on the lighting source. I mean, if you're going for moody colors, then no, I probably wouldn't take this approach. But I wasn't, so that's what I did. Now, another thing too is if your Copic pens are running low and say you don't have to refill them, what do you do to stretch it out? Well, that's where a lot of blending comes in, and a lot of mixing of colors. Like Link's boots, I was running a little low on the brown, so what I did was just extend the shadow a little, and the alcohol absorbed between the markers, and it was able to fill in the gaps and create a really good effect. And if your ink is starting to come out splotchy, like you can see this green here, I've been using that a lot too. That's nothing really to panic about. Yes, you'll need a refill, but what you can do with that is use it for a splotchier texture like grass, where you want different pockets to be shaded in different ways. Now, thankfully, all the colors I needed for the shield were nice and vibrant, which really made it pop out and have that video game feeling. And again, just using the darkness of overlaying one color on top of another or the same color to my advantage. Now, creating metal textures was fairly straightforward, just a combination of putting light and dark together. In particular, leave like, this Link isn't really battle damaged, at least where I'm drawing him. He's just leveled up, he's got everything, you're the player, you're ready to rock, and I wanted everything to look new and not really grungy. So just leaving white highlights in there helps give the illusion of metal. And here is what I'm talking about with the flesh tones. See how dark it initially dries, but with a time lapse, you see it go back to its regular, or the tone that you were thinking. Just going in again with the same color, deciding where the lights are, and I decided that the sun was coming from the right, as evidenced by the shadow and everything like that. And unfortunately, I took a phone call in the middle of recording and didn't get the rest of this, but I will say that to help blend Zelda into the background, just pick the primary sky color and liberally shade over her, and that will help put her in the distance. With Link, I didn't do any of that effect to have him pop out in the foreground. Thank you, Heather, for the very fun challenge. Now, as far as what's coming next week, I did another infusion drawing of Nightcrawler, and he's really cool. I also had a request to do Darth Vader, which I'll be doing soon. And in the meantime, I'm trying to decide, and I'm going to leave it up to you. Who do you feel like seeing next? Let me know down in the comments below. I hope you can catch the live stream 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, DORKGA's channel. Again, link below. And in the meantime, I hope you keep telling your stories.